I felt I waded on water for a long time. I wrote this and then I said, who will believe this?
So for them, it's like a disrespect. That why they are not looked as a failure. Like उनको कुछ माना क्यों नहीं जाता है?
And when we were young, she used to tell us how handsome was Subhash Chandra Bose. Very handsome. We were all looking at him from the stage.
So this is their contradiction. Do you think this is true?
See, एक बहुत अच्छा श्लोक है गीता में, कर्मण्येवाधिकारस्ते मा फलेषु कदाचन. कर्म आदमी तो करता है, right? Whether you want or not, whether you succeed or you fail.
Welcome back on the 2ndInning Podcast. In today's episode, we have Mrs.Nandini Chiplunkar as our guest, telling about what she has done in her life and what she has been in all these years, and what she is currently doing is not completely possible in this small intro. But for a little glimpse, I'll say that she has been a number one teacher trainer for 10 years consistently in the KVS. She has continued the legacy of her mother, who started a foundation, who started an NGO with the name MAHILA ADHYAYAN KENDRA 60 years ago. She has been running that with a school in it, with empowering women. And today we have talked about feminism, we have talked about her life experiences. There are so many small stories, there are so many life lessons packed in this podcast. All I will say is that I was blessed for this conversation. I feel that I am blessed to have this conversation. It was wonderful to talk to her. It was wonderful to have this conversation with her on this podcast. I'll only say, watch this till the end. You'll definitely enjoy it and will definitely learn something out of it. Watch this till the end. Stay tuned. Nandini ma'am, welcome on the 2ndInning Podcast.
Welcome to you also.
Thank you for giving us your time.
Yes.
How are you feeling today?
Great.
Okay, so let's begin this conversation with your NGO.
Right.
Take us through your journey from where it began, how it started, and what it started with, and what it is today.
Okay. To start with the foundation or establishment, it was in 1965.
Okay.
1965, 1st January. No, 3rd March.
3rd March.
It was when my mom, she always felt that women should not simply rear children or look after the cooking at the house or do the house chore. But she always felt that woman also has mind, spirit, soul, brain and body. So all these must be used by her also. So she basically collected 5 women to start to talk about their own life. So we were 5 of us, 4 women, and I was a student, so I was the 5th one. So we used to sit together. We sat for one evening, we sat. Then word spread. And then there were first 8, then 10, then 25. Like that we were together. And then we for maybe for 1 year, full year, we started with थोड़ा लोगों को ये होना चाहिए ना कि whatever they like, it should be done. So रामायण पाठ, गीता पाठ, then भजन, then कहानी बोलो, इस तरह का like all of it started. And once we had gone for just a picnic. So we had gone to a nearby place, 1 mile from our house. My mom used to stay in Devas. So 1 mile away from there towards Maksi bypass kind of. So there was a Pichdi Basti.
Okay.
And one of our, the person who was a member of the group, she had her khet there. So she said, chalo, hamare khet pe chalte hain. So there was something happened there. And my mother said to all other women, she said ki, look at this woman, the girl who is sitting here, बर्तन धो रही है, उसका एक छोटा सा बच्चा बोरे पे पड़ा हुआ है. she is having that ghungat up to her like chest even down. Why this condition of a woman? So उन लेडीज को तो कुछ नहीं पता था क्या है क्या नहीं. So they said कि नहीं, इसमें अपन क्या कर सकते हैं? She said we can do a lot there. We can just start something here in this group, in this place. And then we can spread the whole thing. Let us do it. अभी हमको कोई जरूरी नहीं कि what will be the end. Start. Let us start. So that woman, she asked, she said she was a widow, that woman who was washing the utensils. She was a widow, had 3-month child, and then widow in a village. A lot to bear, lot to bear. So my mom picked her up and she made her read, write, something like that. And my mom came home after that khet wala trip. Then from that village, दूध वाले used to come to give her milk every day. Like होता है ना, वो कड़छी से डालते दूध. They used to see that my mom always had 2-3 girls or women sitting in her house, and she was talking something, having a book in the hand, something. So that man brought 2-3 of them from the village in the afternoon and said, आप इन लोगों को क्या कराते हो? हमारे गांव में कुछ कराओ ना. She said, I can come. हम तो आए थे आपके वहाँ पे, पर आपके वहाँ हमको जगह तो चाहिए, कहीं पे बैठने की जगह तो चाहिए, क्या करोगे? So there was a small mandir, there was a otla, and there they said, वहाँ पे आप बैठो, करेंगे, देखेंगे. This is how Mahila Adhyayan Kendra, this was the place when Mahila Adhyayan Kendra came after 3 years.
From starting from
हाँ, 3-5 years भी ज़्यादा. School was not opened. Just getting the people around us.
That too, especially women.
Women and children.
Women and children.
Because my mother wanted women to be happy, and she said, unless the child is happy, mother will not be happy.
Okay.
So let us pick up the children. But she never opened up with her friends, because the friends also were very traditional, very old thinking kind of. So she did not open every card to them in the initial stage. By the time it was 76.
1976.
Yes. So they गाँव वालों ने फिर एक छोटा सा मंदिर दिया, वहाँ पे बनाओ आप. So first batch was 30 students.
First batch of students.
30.
Okay.
So they started. The school started maybe in 73 or something, but registered in 76. So middle school registered in 76. So from then, main was school, and the women's activities were surrounding the whole thing.
And before 73, there were only women activities. Women activities,
yes. From Devas, the civil area, the city area, Gaon later on started. So this is how it started, and from there, like from 73 or something, till this day, their school is running. There is another village which is Rajoda. So this was in the backward class area, Bamankeda, and Rajoda was a Gramin area.
Okay.
So one is in the Pichdi Basti, another is in the Gramin area, because Gramin area never ever promoted schooling for girls. Boys used to come, but the girls not. So mom started it, and they all worked together, and it went on to be a middle school again in Rajoda also, and here also.
What did your mother had to think and take such kind of initiative in 1965? Like उनका क्या एजुकेशन था, उनकी अपब्रिंगिंग थी, या उनका खुद का थॉट प्रोसेस ऐसा था? क्योंकि उस टाइम में ये सब सोचना और इसको एक्चुअली में करना, जो कि आज के टाइम में इमेजिन करना भी पॉसिबल नहीं, क्योंकि तब के सिनेरियोज कैसे होते होंगे, वो इट्स नॉट इजी.
Yes.
So what gave her that strength and that thought in her mind?
Her parents.
Okay.
Her parents, my mom's parents. My grandfather was a lawyer, and my grandmother was a कर्मठ महिला बोलते हैं ना,
Strong woman.
Strong woman. खेत पूरे वो संभालती थी. lot of land they had.
Hmm.
So everything about the land,
Hmm.
tilling, plowing, harvesting, cutting, selling the dhan, everything my grandmother used to do.
Hmm.
And she used to have 25 people standing in front of her, like this, with eyes down, and she would be dictating them.
Like a bold lady.
Yes, yes. So my mother's mother was like this, and the father was a very, very like forward-thinking person.
Hmm.
He wanted the girls to be good. So my mother, at the age of 14, she also participated in that Swadeshi Andolan, घर घर जाके पिकेटिंग करना, वो जलाना, कप चीजें बाहर की चीजें जलाना, लोगों को ये करना, नारे लगाना, यस यस, सब उसमें.
Your grandmother.
My mother.
Your
When
mother.
she was 14
When
years
she
old.
was 14 years old. Okay.
And she was also one of the volunteers when Subhash Chandra Bose was Congress president
Okay.
in Tripuri Congress.
Hmm.
So, 8-10 girls from Sagar, 14 years of age, 14 to 15, something like that, with that Nogaji Lugda, white, with a blue border sari, with this thing, volunteers like, they went to that place. And they were the commandos for Subhash Chandra Bose.
Wow.
So, holding hand in hand like that, making a circle around Subhash Chandra Bose. And when we were young, she used to tell us how handsome was Subhash Chandra Bose. Very handsome. We were all looking at him from the stage. And he got out from the elephant. He got down, then came on the stage, sat in front of us, facing the crowd, and we were there. So this was our childhood. So where from she got it? She got it here. Then her father sent her to Pune for her college. Because there was no college in that school.
time.
Yes. And Pune, Yerandavana, that was the village where Dhondo Keshav Karve started Women's University, first university in India. So my grandfather thought of sending these 3-4 girls from Sagar to that hostel. It was a hostel.
Alone.
3-4 girls,
3-4
yes.
girls.
He boarded them on the train. And there was some relation of us who got them down, reached them there. And for 3 years they did not come.
And this is in the year?
It was in the year 2928.
1928. 1929.
Yes. Your father also was not born. I was not born, sure.
For sure.
Yes. So at that time. And then Karve was a great man. If you search Google and search for Dhondo Keshav Karve, first man to start university, women's university. And she happened to be a tennis player, my mother, with a 9-yard sari holding, and on the other side, that dhoti pehna hua opponent, mixed doubles. You can imagine at that time, 115 years ago, all these people, they just played tennis, and my mother was a sports secretary in that university. She prepared the court. And one Justice Chandrachud, now also is one Chandrachud in the Supreme Court. Some relation to him only, because Chandrachuds are all in lawyer. So his maybe great-great-great-grandfather was there. He came and inaugurated it. So that was her background. My father also was a freedom fighter. And they had a love marriage for 9 years. They were friends and then they got married. But that friendship was not like today's Bollywood friendship. It was with a cause, freedom struggle, emancipation of women, there's social awareness, health awareness, all those things, they bound them. And so she was from that background, my father also from that background. So it all started like that, and this is how she felt. She was restless unless she started MAHILA ADHYAYAN Kendra. We 5, then my grandmother, grandfather, all relation coming. So that was for 40 years it went on. 40 to nahi, maybe 20 years after marriage. It went on. Then she said, my children are grown up now. कुछ तो करना है. And my father expired in 74. But before that 65 से उन्होंने वो स्टार्ट कर दिया था.
महिला केंद्र, महिला अध्ययन केंद्र.
It was basically a study circle. महिला ने सिर्फ rearing children and cooking is not their job. Their job is bigger than that, bringing up their own children in a proper way. So proper way, you have to have a proper way of life. Then you can train them. So this is what she said. And a woman will be happy only when her children are happy. This is the crux of everything she got. And then everything is now
in front of the eyes of the world.
Yes, and 88 till 88. She died at 88. But till last, maybe 2 months she did not go to Devas. But till then she was going with me.
How did you join in this? What was your journey?
I am her daughter. Genes are there. I always, when I started my career in KV, like in 67, I got transferred to Bhopal. I wanted Indore. Initially, I was appointed in IIT Mumbai, Kendra Vidyalaya. So marriage was settled, and then my husband was at Indore, so I wanted Indore. They put me at Bhopal. So every Saturday I used to come from Bhopal to Indore. Monday 5 o'clock bus going back. During that period, I still remember I used to pass Ashta, Sihor, Sonkach, all colleges on the main road. And my attention used to be always, I still very much remember how much I was attracted towards that crowd. 17-18 साल के बच्चे, crowds of them, सिर्फ मटर गश्ती कर रहे हैं. I used to feel कि अरे क्या है ये, मस्ती एक तरफ है, but there is something to be done in their life.
Like you were seeing the losing potential in that crowd.
Yes.
Of those students.
पर कुछ कर नहीं रही थी मैं.
You were just observing.
I wanted to, but never could do for so many years. Because Kendra Vidyalaya, my job, then my home, my sasural, then my own children, मेरी जो नौकरी, I had no time. But attraction किसने दिया मुझे? Never a elite class, कभी ध्यान आया ही नहीं. Always these youngsters, children होटल में काम करते थे. मैं राजगढ़ जाती थी ट्रांसफर पे. 3:30 बजे मैं उतरती थी ब्यावरा. हाँ ब्यावरा ही है. 5:30 बजे मुझे बस मिलती थी. तो 2 घंटा I used to be, ठंड हो बारिश हो कुछ भी हो, used to be there at the bus stand. 10 साल का भी नहीं बच्चा, ऐसे 4-5 बच्चे वहां पे चाय की दुकान पे काम करते रहते थे. एंड मैं तो जिस चाय की दुकान पे रहती थी वहां पे वो ये 3-4 बच्चे, देयर वर सो मेनी अराउंड. सो आई यूज्ड टू फील फॉर देम कि देखो कितना बच्चे का सोने का समय है 3:30 बजे, एंड ही इज वर्किंग हियर, और खूब मजे से काम कर रहे हैं, कोई दिक्कत नहीं है. सो how you are asking me how I got into it. तो एक तो जीन्स हैं शायद, दूसरा मेरा अट्रैक्शन पॉइंट ही ये बच्चे. So that's how all my 37 years in KV, all years I was involved with my mother's social work. All years. I used to train teachers. I used to educate the students for some cultural program. छोटे नाटक, कुछ भी करना है. Used to spend 2 hours every week. छुट्टी लेके जाती थी कॉलेज से स्कूटर पे. So
to Devas.
और देवास के भी आगे है वो तो. So that was what it is about.
Tell me something about your phase of KV, being in the KV as a teacher trainer.
Yeah, teacher trainer. Yeah. First of all, I joined KV in 1967 October.
As a
PGT English. There were around 39 applicants, all experienced, everybody above 35. I was 22. I had just finished my college. I had done my B.Ed. I had served in the state government school for say 6 months, on a leave vacancy kind of. And then my sister was in IIT, so she wrote कि यहाँ पे एक vacancy निकली है. Do you want to apply? So I applied. I went there. No experience, nothing. And my division also 48%. So division also was not very much attractive. But it was one place, one vacancy. I was the one who was selected. I was surprised. I said all of them were इतना experience है ऐसा क्यों ऐसा हुआ? But then I found out none of them were able to converse in English. None of them, not one. And I did it. थोड़ा सा boldness शायद पैदाइशी है. Out of bounds जाके बात करना. Not having any limit of anything. So that worked there, I think. And I was selected. They asked me, do you read? I said, yes. What kind of things do you read? I said, Carpetbaggers. You know, a novel which youngsters should not read. Okay. But my father encouraged reading. Read whatever you like. You must read. And he never asked us to stop for this book or start for this book. No.
Like no limitations, no boundaries.
No limitation. Kuch bhi padho. In that, I got these 4-5 of them. I never, all these kind of novels I read, psychological, they were like. And so I was able to like understand English a little bit. And MA English होने से जरूरी थोड़ी है कि आप English बोल सकते हो. मेरे तो प्रोफेसर से हिंदी में पढ़ाते थे. All through I was a Hindi medium student. तो ऐसा तो उसमें निकल गए. फिर बहुत again, maybe it is genes, maybe it is me person, maybe it is I liked that way. So pouring yourself out in any work. I did that in KB also. जितना आता है, जो नहीं भी आता है, सब में कूद पड़ो. So I experimented with everything. And then I think I could gain more than other teachers. Because I never held myself back. For anything. किसी ने कहा ये कर लोगे, पता ही नहीं है क्या करना है. पर पहला जवाब होता था हाँ. क्या करना है देखेंगे बाद में. Yes.
And letting go.
Let it go. Come, it will come. So that has been my, now if I analyze, it comes like that. It comes like that. Anybody asks me to do this, yes. अरे सोच तो ले आता है कि नहीं. But this is, now it is coming in my mind. At that time, no. At that time it was yes. When you plunge into water, then you will know swimming kind of attitude. So I did everything, and I had a little background of my mother. My father was a very smart man. Very psychology में बहुत अच्छा उनका ज्ञान था, maths में, English में, everything. So थोड़ा सा genes.
And he was a lawyer?
No, my father was a teacher.
Your grandfather was a lawyer?
My grandfather, both kind of grandfather. My father's father also.
And your mother's father also?
Both of them lawyers. So this is how I got into it. And then they asked me, will you go and teach the teachers? Yes. Like every question, my answer was yes. Other teachers did not understand what they are asking. They first thought कि क्या करना है. And mine was not that area. पूछा करना है, हाँ करना है. So I started in 76. I started to be a resource person for teaching English.
Okay.
एक आध दो बार ही शायद प्राइमरी टीचर्स का किया होगा. Later on, I was a TGT, but I was teaching TGTs. I was a PGT, but I was resource person for PGTs. And very many times I was the academic director and specialized in phonetics and all those things. So I also never learned phonetics in my college or something. But like exploring is a habit. So that exploring happens everywhere.
So basically, your skill or nature of exploration
Lot.
brought to you all of this.
No, I never learned anything about phonetics anywhere. But I explored, I learned. I had my textbooks of which I was teaching.
Your exploration got you there.
Yes. So exploring is what I loved, I think. And I enjoyed teaching to my bottom. I never felt कि अरे यार कुछ नहीं मिला तो टीचर बन गए. I was not like that. It was my choice. It was what I wanted, and my parents both were teachers. So I could go on, and then it went. Whenever I was asked, कौन जाएगा, कौन रिसोर्स पर्सन बनेगा, कौन ट्रेनिंग लेगा, everywhere involved in all activities possible as an English teacher. And in there again exploring language teaching is not only verbs, grammar or parts of speech. It's not the vocabulary, it's not the sentences, it is something far more than all these things. The practicality, the practical of language. The stories enacted in the class, made into drama, the children would do, recitations done in the classes. So, apart from question answers, which is till date, it is the style. Teacher writes on the board, the students write in the notebook. आज तक यही हाल है, कितना भी आप कर लो. Mine was not like this right from the first day. We did Julius Caesar, an act, not the whole of that.
Okay.
Maybe some two scenes from there. In IIT, Mumbai. Then we did Sheridan's School for Scandal, such a difficult book, but we did it at Indore. We did that, what that song, Spring, September ka gana? Come September, do a dear, female dear. All those things we used to do in the school. So these things were not even known to my colleagues, sorry to say, but my colleagues never knew these were existing. But new things to do, anything to do around my English teaching. This is what I liked, and I plunged into that.
What was your biggest challenge while training teachers at that time? What was, as per you, what was the lacking? Where was the gap which you thought to fill?
Gap and gap and gap.
Okay.
So, as it is with very many English postgraduates, very many.
You were training only English teachers?
Yes.
Okay.
I was an English teacher, so I was teaching. Spoken English, nil, with teachers.
Okay.
Those who knew a little bit, they thought that they knew everything. That was also another biggest gap. Because unless a teacher is a learner, he cannot be a good teacher. So those who knew little, they thought they knew everything. And those who did not know at all, they never tried to. Because at that stage, you cannot start learning unless you push yourself a lot. So spoken English nahi aata tha. Grammar was very, very weak with them. And then they thought English is only to be बोर्ड पे टीचर लिख दे, हम लिख लें, ओवर. टीचर को बहुत आता है तो स्टूडेंट को आ जाएगा. दैट वाज अ बॉटम लाइन. एंड दिस इज नॉट ए रियल बॉटम लाइन. दिस इज नॉट ट्रू. टीचर को आएगा. टीचर तो टीचर है ना, तो टीचर को यहाँ पहुँचाना पड़ेगा. टीचर को स्टूडेंट तक पहुँचाना पड़ेगा. यू हैव टू कम टू दैट लेवल to make them comfortable with the knowledge of the subject. So that was that. But very soon I understood what was missing. Again, if you are an explorer, you're not satisfied with little answer. You want to dig and dig and dig till you reach the bottom. I reached that bottom very soon because I was never satisfied with what I was doing. So I dug, and then I reached that thing that let me give them practical experience. So I did. I taught them something new, like phonetics. I taught them so they could read. I taught because that was entirely new. They had never done it in their life. पहले phonetics वगैरह तो ये तो special last 20 years it has been. Before that it was not there in our schools at least. So, and then sentence construction, they were not taught well. But none of them was trying to improve on herself or himself. Teacher हो गए तो हमको तो आता है. That equation is not right, and it was not right then too. So challenges were very many, but the more challenging, the more I appreciated, the more I liked it. ऐसा तो ऐसा चलता रहा हमारा.
और ये कीवी का टेन्योर, how long was it?
38 years.
38 years. And out of 38 years, how many years were you the trainer?
76 से आगे till my last 2004.
2004.
Ah,
So ma'am, now if we talk again about your NGO, then what were the challenges your mother and you faced at the beginning, and what are the challenges you are facing at this moment while running that NGO and starting it?
yeah. Running the kind of NGO we are involved in will always have challenges. Whatever stage, was it a beginning, it is in the middle, now it has 60 years coming. But the challenges are of different type. My mom had a challenge of getting the women together because of some reason. Because this was not the tradition. Women coming out and sitting together, talking about books or talking about Gita or Ramayana, not that, like that. Then there was a problem of like the building, the funds, how to have. Today we have 2 buildings. We have full-fledged libraries. We have labs. We have computers. We have screen. We have laptop and sports activities. Everything we have. Challenge, the same challenge about getting the women together is today also. But the reasons are different. Today women are so much coming out, but for everything they are in need of money.
Okay, they want money.
Whatever you do, if you generate money for them, then they might come. But then they will come for a short period and then they say, this तुम्हें तो इससे ज़्यादा तो मैं ही घर पे कमा लूँगी. So they do not. So getting together women is not an easy thing, and we do not play with womankind. Like उनको पैसे देके बुला लो या उनको गिफ्ट देके बुला लो, ऐसा हम नहीं करते हैं. I always give them something to eat. I always give them something to make them better human being, a mother and a wife in their life. All those things, we train them in craft. We train them how to keep a home healthy and all. We also train them about environment cleaning. We also train them for cultural, whatever culture they have, to let them explore their own culture and presentations, so that a woman also gets time to get a little joy in her own way. There is a lot of literary activities that we do with the women, because basically MAHILA ADHYAYAN KENDRA. So it is about Adhyayan. So Adhyayan means not your own, you study your own self. That's also Adhyayan. Try to find out what good you have, what bad you have. Try to correct what bad you have. Try to upbring the good that you have.
Within yourself.
So those kind of mother-daughter workshops we have. We have how to teach children when the mother is not educated. How to get them to study at home. इसका वर्कशॉप करते हैं. अबाउट क्राफ्ट, नीडल वर्क है, सिलाई और ऊन का है, या एम्ब्रॉयडरी है, कटिंग है, क्विल्टिंग है. वी हैव डन लॉट ऑफ क्विल्टिंग इन आर दिस थिंग. सो ये सब करते हैं. बट द चैलेंज इज फंड्स, because we do not take anything. We tried once, twice, but when we found that we cannot be in the race in this way, the way it is going, we stopped taking government, this thing. Stop means trying for getting anything from government. We have public donation, we have people who volunteer their services and all those things, but funds are the things that are there. And another maybe equally important problem that we have is with the attendance of the students.
Okay, how?
गांव में कथा हो रही है, whole family is there, our children also are there. तो 10 दिन की कथा है, 10 दिन बच्चे वहाँ खाना खाने जाएंगे. और स्कूल से हम नहीं जाने देंगे तो वो आते ही नहीं है स्कूल में. One thing. सेकेंडली, राखी आ गई है, मम्मी जाएगी तो बच्चे भी जाएंगे, तो 15-15 दिन वहां पे रहते हैं. फिर नवरात्रि है, दे आर ऑल इन उपास और फास्टिंग में है, तो वो घर पे मंदिर जाएंगे, यहाँ जाएंगे, वहां जाएंगे. प्रेजेंस ऑफ चिल्ड्रन इन स्कूल ऑन रेगुलर बेसिस and particularly say 80% or 90% presence is not there. So the continuity of whatever you train them, yeah. Parents not interested in coming to parents meeting. Fee, 90% parents do not pay the annual fees, 90%. But still, I have not lost hope. I don't think this is the part of society. Here I have to work. The challenges will be there. Beat the challenge. Meet the challenge. So that's how we do it.
What you told about women, कि आज के टाइम में वो पैसे के लिए आएंगी. Like the challenge is, आ तो जाएंगी वो, but they need money. This is the present scenario. What was the scenario back then when your mother was grouping these women? तब उनको क्या था जिसके लिए वो आ रही थी?
उस समय विमेन ज़्यादा आते थे, क्योंकि उनकी एक्टिविटी थी रामायण पाठ कराना, भजन कराना. फिर वो बेसिकली दीज टू, एंड इन दैट शी वुड पुट वन एक्टिविटी. अभी बताओ तुमको कैसे लगा, तो खड़े हो जाओ, 1 मिनट के लिए बात करो. So the women used to talk about their own experience. But now महंगाई भी बहुत है, and I will not blame the mother or the housewife or the wife for asking for money because they need it. But we are trying to solve somehow the other young girls, marriageable girls, to train them in a workshop. What you should look into the marriage. What you should expect after marriage. Little bit I try to understand, but this is not working with the underprivileged, because the society is, whatever is happening through YouTube, whatever is happening through Facebook, Instagram, हमसे सब आगे हैं. And that age of 14-15 years, some boys and girls, so dangerous, adolescents, कुछ भी रील बनाते हैं, पैसा मिलता है. So that is a negative part of all these electronic open media. फिर every girl and every boy is not successful. There are a lot of suicides. So challenges are very different. I felt so bad when a young girl of 14-15 years got entangled with a boy. And when her father knew it, the father is a drunkard, gave her such beating and such this thing that At night, she hung herself in the house.
This is a real incident.
A real incident. 2, 3 girls, this has happened in our school. रात को पता चलता है कि लड़की ने तो सुसाइड कर लिया. The girl who had studied right from nursery to 8th class, 9th class. ऐसा होता है. So the parents are not properly handling. शादी के पहले चाहे जो फैशन करो, चाहे जो कपड़े पहनो आप, चाहे जो लिपस्टिक लगाओ, बाल बनाओ, पार्लर में जाओ करो, शादी के बाद एकदम पर्दा गिर जाता है. हर रोल इज एंटायरली डिफरेंट. सम गर्ल्स रिवोल्ट, फिर झूठ बोलना, बहुत सारा कुछ. एंड सम गर्ल they submit. So that gap is there. Society, social media, electronic media, everybody is playing their own roles. So it is challenging. Not very much, because there are girls who are doing good also. BSc पढ़ गए, फिर उन्होंने बायोकेमिस्ट्री में BSc किया, किसी ने मैथ्स में किया, कोई नर्सिंग में चला गया, कोई डॉक्टर्स हैं. लड़कियां तो नहीं, लड़के हैं. लड़कियों ने कभी कुछ किया, MBA कर लिया. यस, MBA नहीं, BBA तक गए, MBA तो नहीं है. So there are students who have done good.
If we talk about feminism and women empowerment, basically what your mother did at that time, we can definitely call it women empowerment and feminism. Like, she was working towards uplifting women and doing something for them, and she had that thought and understanding that women are meant to be something else, something more
Other than this,
not just for household work and everything. So how did feminism and women empowerment work? And like, one thing is theory. What was its practical application back then, and what do you think feminism and women empowerment has converted to in present times?
Yeah. Feminism then back and now. What I have understood is that Indian women have been better placed in homes and societies than the Western countries. If you find a woman in Western country cannot get up from her seat unless a man gives her a hand. If you have seen it in society. India में ऐसा नहीं है. She could get up herself. She could be herself. She could do so many things herself. So basically there I find in society. But basic education, like in Western countries, the first 5 years of education, like first standard to 5th standard, how much it is compulsory in the other countries, and how much well it is placed, and how much the children are exposed to good educational practices in other countries is far better than our schools. Our education is rote memory. Memorize and answer. Logical thinking has been absent in our primary education right from beginning. British समझ लो या मुगल, बहुत पीछे नहीं जाऊंगी. So the attitude towards women is better in India than in the West, number one. Secondly, primary education has been absent for women for a long time in India. There it was not. There today also primary education is most important in Western culture than in India. Ours is learn by heart, give the exam. This starts right in the nursery, goes till your masters. 20 questions, master wala wo yaad kar lega. He knows out of these only 10 are going to come. So he will learn those 30 questions or 20 this thing, whatever it is, and then he is first class. But really doesn't study. Women here now, there is a big explosion in our society. Let's talk about India only. There is a big explosion in women's life. The parents also are thinking good. The educated parents are there. The enlightened parents are there. The girls have better freedom. But at the same time, we have always had extremes in all conditions. So, this scenario is one that the women are enlightened, educated, qualified, skilled, technically as well as other way. But there is another sect of society of women who are not, they do not even know reading and writing. Very many of them. And they are living the life as their parents want them. Very early marriage. And once you are open to all electronic media, which shows all good and bad things both. These girls, these women who are not educated, whose parents are not attending much towards what they are exposed to, there also you have this kind of extreme, that kind of extreme. Means the girls have seen certain things which they want to explore. And they are adolescents, so they don't know what extreme they are going to. There are other girls who have not seen anything, only have been doing hard work. So they settle as a commoner. But these girls, they learn to tell lies to their parents, to their husbands, to their thing. Same way with the boys. So the mutual respect is there and is not there. So this is a big explosion of modernity, education, electronic media, social awareness, environmental change, climate change, personality, desire, ambition, everything is at the extreme. And like जब मंथन होता है तभी मक्खन निकलता है. So this is the manthan period. A lot of churning is taking place. And there are good also, there are bad also. But I think we have to be more satisfied that it is better.
Than what it used to be.
Yes. Extreme इसमें भी है, those girls understand that this is my family. I have to sacrifice because somebody also is sacrificing for me. So I too have to sacrifice. There is another family where the girl gets an experience of her past, that her mother was not treated well by her parents-in-law. So why should I? तो ये जो rebellion है, ये negative rebellion है. So this also is coming out a lot. So churning, I said, it's all up churning in the society. And this churning will definitely bring butter, जो कृष्ण भगवान खाते. So all of us are undergoing that change, and that change is like, yeah.
Okay. I would like to put a point of view of let's say young or adult females of present times. Like पहले के टाइम में उनकी complaints जैसा आपने बताया of your mother's time. That time the complaint, what she observed were different, that they were only restricted to the household and they had to be picked up and were meant to be something more. That was the complaint of that period. In this period, the complaint which I have heard and which I agree with also is like, let's take for example, if there is a boy, he have a career, he have made his goals, ambitions, and he lives in a society, a modern society, and if he fails to achieve them, that then he will be looked down as a failure. That okay, he has failed. And if the same thing happens with a girl, then she won't be looked as a failure. She will be looked like, okay, she did try, but it's okay. It's okay that she failed. So for them, it's like a disrespect. That why they are not looked as a failure. Like उनको कुछ माना क्यों नहीं जाता. That's their point of view. And I think they are not wrong here. They should deserve that respect as well. So this is their point of view in present times. One of their point of views in this time that उनको भी वो respect मिलनी चाहिए. And there are so many times there is this debate that men have to do this in the society, like they have to stand in front and they have to be the leader. So their opposite reaction to this is that you are the ones who have created this society in this way. Like both men and women are the, let's say, victim of this society, which are created by the society itself in back times. And now we are complaining to the society itself that this is how we are being treated. But you are the ones who created this rule that women are to be seated at home and men are supposed to work in the fields and work on the grounds and take care of the family, become strong, don't cry, everything. And now you're complaining that men have to do this and this. So this is their contradiction. Do you think this is true?
See, एक बहुत अच्छा श्लोक है गीता में, कर्मण्येवाधिकारस्ते मा फलेषु कदाचन. कर्म आदमी तो करता है, राइट, whether you want or not, whether you succeed or you fail. कर्म आपके शरीर, मन, दिमाग तीनों से चलता ही रहता है. सोसाइटी इज लाइक दैट. सोसाइटी में कुछ ना कुछ होता ही रहता है, वो कर्म है. और जो कर्म होगा उसका फल तो होगा ही होगा. और फल जब तक होता है तो वो सोसाइटी हैज ग्रोन, क्योंकि फल बाद में होगा. तो जो कर्म है या जो आपने, जैसे आपने बताया कि सोसाइटी का ही ये उपज है, इज द प्रोड्यूस ऑफ द सोसाइटी, एंड नाउ यू आर कंप्लेनिंग. तो ये यंगस्टर्स जो तुम्हारे जैसे हैं, मैं आई कुड रीड दैट्स योर क्वेश्चन ऑल्सो, एज ऑफ दिस एज, यंग एज, कि ऐसा क्यों. अब बॉय फेल्स तो उसके ऊपर एकदम फेलियर आ जाएगा. अब वुमन फेल्स तो ठीक है, उसको तो ये करना ही नहीं था, वो तो ठीक है, कॉम्प्रोमाइजिंग. बट डोंट यू थिंक दैट कॉम्प्रोमाइजिंग ऑल्सो इज एन इंसल्ट टू दैट वुमन?
Exactly.
It's an insult.
Right.
Like you are feeling why the boy is given a blame that he has not succeeded. Both ways, the way you take it. Every action will have a reaction. प्रॉब्लम तब आती है जब रिएक्शन को आप कैसे रिएक्ट करते हो. वो रिएक्शन को आप कैसे रिएक्ट करते हो. If somebody tells that you are a boy and you did not succeed, you should have got 90%, you got 75%, shame on you, right? ये स्प्रिंग बोर्ड हो सकता है आपके लिए. That somebody insulted you so badly that you will take it as a springboard and no, I am not like that करके करोगे तो you will rise high. So you take it as a challenge.
Correct.
Other than the girls, कॉम्प्रोमाइजिंग कह दिया उसको कि नहीं, इसको तो चलता है, इसको कौन सा नौकरी करनी है, इसको तो खाना बनाना है, बच्चे पैदा करना है, बच्चे बड़े करना है. That girl, if she is a vibrant one, she'll feel it more insulting than the boy feels his failure. And she will take that as a springboard. कि ऐसा कैसे, मेरे लिए कुछ भी नहीं. So it's a question of every action has a reaction. Now the person. It depends on this person how you take this reaction. Do you take it as a challenge? Do you take it as, अरे यार मेरा तो भाग्य ऐसा है. So if you take it a challenge, you will definitely meet the challenge. If you say भाग्य ऐसा है तो बैठे रहो मेरे घर एक जमीन पे. In every society, in every time, in every society, men and women, they are different species. Their build is different. their तो कहते हैं ना वो एस्ट्रोलॉजर्स के इसमें men are men, women are women, क्या है वो, उस तरह का differently made to balance a family, to balance the society. This is the difference, to balance the society. बट देन एवरी पर्सन इज डिफरेंट. कोई तो मैन हो के एक छटाक का वजन नहीं उठा सकते, और कोई वुमन है और वो धड़ल्ले से 10 किलो का यूं ही उठा के चल देती है. अब वो क्या है, वजन उसके लिए भी है, इसके लिए भी है. ये हिम्मत ही नहीं कर रहा और वो देखो कितना चल गई. सो रिएक्शन का रिएक्शन. सो दैट चिल्ड्रन, आई यूज्ड टू टेक वर्कशॉप्स इन मुंबई, क्योंकि घर से जब बाहर मेरा ट्रांसफर रहता था, आई यूज्ड टू हैव अ लॉट ऑफ वही एक्सप्लोरिंग. आई वेंट टू वेरी मेनी कॉलेजेस, आई वेंट टू वेरी मेनी सोसाइटीज, स्कूल्स, सब दूर. और ये देखा मैंने कि हियर इज अ पोटेंशियल, आई कैन गो एंड टॉक टू देम काइंड ऑफ. तो वर्कशॉप्स लिए मैंने यंगस्टर्स के, कॉलेज के यंग बॉय, 17-18 साल के बच्चे, और उनसे दे वर बबलिंग विथ क्वेश्चंस. आई कुड रीड देयर आईज. मैं तो जैसे एंटर करती हूँ, आई एंटर इनटू देयर आईज सबसे पहले, एंड आई कुड रीड देयर बबलिंग विथ, इतने सवाल है कि क्या बताएं. बट देन आई टोल्ड देम, फर्स्ट 3 to 4 minutes I will talk. After that, your questions. Okay? So, don't raise your eyebrows unless I finish my 3 minutes. So, they used to hear me properly, hear me out. And then the questions. I'll answer all your questions. Then I used to put a plain, जैसे कहते हैं ना, green grass. ऐसा मैं उसको मैट, by my words, I used to spread. They were comfortable. They agreed to me. Now questions. So the questions had decreased. Eyebrows were not lifted. No wrinkles also here. But they were hoping कि मैं उनको कुछ और दूँ. Then I said, you have to ask me what you want. Do you know what you want? आप अच्छा बोल रहे हो. मैंने कहा, दिस इज नॉट व्हाट यू वांट. व्हाट यू वांट, यू हैड लॉट ऑफ क्वेश्चंस इन योर माइंड. फिर धीरे 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 तो सोसाइटी का ऐसा ही है. सोसाइटी में तो सब तरह के लोग हैं. यंग तुम्हारे जैसे जो हैं बहुत हैं ऐसे कि जिनको समझ में ही नहीं आ रहा है, और क्वेश्चंस ऐसा क्यों, राइटफुली सो. बट थोड़ी मेच्योरिटी आने में टाइम लगता है. दिस इज इमेच्योर व्हेन यू से ऐसा क्यों, ऐसा क्यों, ऐसा. दिस इज मेच्योरिटी. मेच्योरिटी आने में टाइम देना पड़ता है. टाइम, यू हैव टू लेट गो थिंग्स. यू हैव टू हैव द हैबिट ऑफ लेट इट गो, लेट इट फिनिश, देन आई विल रिएक्ट. व्हेन यू रीच टू दैट लेवल, अपने आप आपको वो ग्रासी फील आने लगती है. दे आर नॉट थॉर्न्स. सोसाइटी इज ब्यूटिफुल, ह्यूमन लाइफ इज ब्यूटिफुल. ओनली थिंग इज, आसमान देखो, समुद्र को देखो, हवा को महसूस करो, पानी में तैरो. दैट्स ऑल. आई यूज्ड टू राइट समटाइम्स बैक, एंड आई हैड रिटन वन थिंग. आई फेल्ट आई waded on water for a long time. I wrote this and then I said, who will believe this? मैं कोई महात्मा थोड़ी हूँ कि पानी पर तैर के चल जाऊँ. बट if I am feeling like that, I'll write this. I waded. और फिर वो अभी जो मैंने हिंदी की कविता आपको पढ़ी थी ना, सब सहज हो जाता है. वो सहजता है when you say I waded in water, waded on water. तो वो बच्चों में भी आपको दिखती. बहुत छोटा बच्चा है, वो वैसा ही होता है. उसको कुछ पता नहीं है कि बुरा, तो कुछ पता ही नहीं है, कुछ नहीं मालूम है उसको बुरा. शैतान भी उनको देख लेगा तो वो हंस देगा. उसको कुछ नहीं मालूम है. सो यू हैव टू एंटर इनटू दैट रीजन. इट्स डिफिकल्ट, आई नो, and it needs a lot of maturity to reach to that level that you feel इतने हल्के हो आप कि पानी पे भी चल जाते हो. हल्का होना बहुत जरूरी है. सो व्हाट यू आस्क्ड अबाउट द गर्ल्स एंड बॉयज, होगा ये आपके पेरेंट्स, नॉट योर. but girls and boys, they come with a lot of expectation. हमारा बेटा, हमारी बेटी ये करेगी, वो करेगी. The more you expect, the more you fail.
That's the rule.
It's a life का रूल है ये. एक्सपेक्ट मत करो. दैट्स व्हाट इट इज. कर्मण्येवाधिकारस्ते. आपका अधिकार सिर्फ कर्म करने का है. फल तो होगा ही, और जैसा कर्म वैसा फल होगा. खत्म. डोंट कम टू दैट काइंड ऑफ फीलिंग कि इतने बदमाश लोग हैं फिर भी ये इतना कैसे सुख से जी रहे हैं. नहीं जी रहे हैं, वो नींद की गोलियां खा के जी रहे हैं. और मजदूर को देखो, पत्थर पे सिर रखता है, सो जाता है. 4 घंटे बाद फिर 4 बजे की शिफ्ट में चलता है वो. सो हु इज हैप्पी, राइट? सो यू हैव टू वेट फॉर थोड़ा थोड़ा. और यंग एज में वेटिंग इज नॉट पॉसिबल.
There is so much boiling blood inside.
उसको कहते हैं ना, मैनेजमेंट का एक हो है, यू हैव टू पैराडाइम शिफ्ट. जो कुछ कहा जाता है ना, पैराडाइम शिफ्ट. मुझे ये फ्रेज बहुत अच्छा.
Channelizing your energy and focus towards something meaningful.
ये टीचर का काम है, पेरेंट का काम है, टू चैनलाइज द चाइल्ड्स एनर्जी टुवर्ड्स पॉजिटिव. और बच्चा जितना पावरफुल होगा उतना वो जल्दी चैनलाइज हो जाएगा. अभी बच्चा जो शैतान बच्चा है, शैतानी तो करेगा ना. आप करोगे क्या शैतानी? शैतानी तो करेगा वो. उस शैतानी को आप चैनलाइज करो. उसको थोड़ा चैलेंजिंग जॉब दो कुछ करने के लिए. आई हैव सो मेनी स्टूडेंट्स इन गांव में. माँ बाप गाली बक रहे हैं, बाप दारू पी के रोज उसकी माँ पिटती है, देखता है रोज वो. काहे का उसकी ग्रोथ की बात कर रहे हो आप? माँ तो बच्चे पे नहीं निकालती है गुस्सा, वो माँ है इसलिए. बाप तो रोज माँ नहीं मिलेगी तो बच्चे को पीट देगा वो. अब उसका भी तो फ्रस्ट्रेशन है कुछ तो भी. 10-10 बोरी 100-100 किलो की कंधे पे उठा के वो जब दिन भर चलता है, दारू के सिवा उसके पास कोई चारा नहीं है. वो दारू पिएगा तो दिमाग घूम जाएगा, फिर जितना कष्ट हुआ है वो बच्चे पे, बीबी पे निकालेगा. विशियस सर्कल. इट इज विशियस सर्कल. और इसमें बच्चा पिसता है फिर. पर वो जब स्कूल में आता है, उसको देखो आप, इफ यू हैंडल हिम वेल. मेरे को तो बहुत चैलेंजिंग लगता है, बहुत अच्छा लगता है ऐसे बच्चों को पकड़ना. गालियां बकते हैं बच्चे स्कूल में, बकते हैं. घर से वही तो सीख के आए हैं, क्या करोगे आप? यू हैव टू गिव देम गुड थिंग्स. इट्स अ बिग चैलेंज एज अ टीचर. इट्स अ वेरी बिग चैलेंज. लोगों को लगता है कुछ नहीं है, चलो टीचर बन जाते हैं. टीचर ये बहुत चैलेंजिंग जॉब है, बहुत ज्यादा. और आप ग्रो करते हो एज अ टीचर, तो ये है उसमें. आई डोंट नो वेयर वाज योर क्वेश्चन एंड व्हाट आई आंसर्ड, आई डोंट नो.
No, but it's completely
synchronized. Yes, because it's life. है ना. पौधा जब बीज के अंदर जाता है मिट्टी में, तो उस बीज को मिट जाना पड़ता है, जब जाके पौधा आगे आता है. ऐसा नहीं है कि वो भी एंजॉय कर ले और पौधा भी बन जाए. नहीं, एक बीज को तो पेरेंट्स आर द बीज. उनको बच्चे के लिए अपने आप को कुछ देर के लिए मिटाना पड़ता है, तब जाके बच्चे अच्छे होते हैं. इफ यू थिंक आजकल के जैसे पेरेंट्स हैं, हम भी एंजॉय करेंगे. अरे क्या एंजॉय करोगे? पेरेंट मत बनो आप फिर. इफ यू आर थिंकिंग ऑफ दैट जॉय, पार्टी में जाना, क्लब में जाना है, ये जो नई दुनिया में रोज एक पेज आ जाता है, हर तरह के कपड़े पहन के खड़े हो जाते हैं लोग. पैसा दो और छपाओ अपने फोटो. क्या है? इज दिस द एंजॉयमेंट? यू हैव चिल्ड्रन एट होम, वो ग्रो कर रहे हैं. आप बीज हो पेरेंट हो के, आपको अपने आप को कुछ दिन के लिए मिटाना पड़ेगा. वो मिटाना नहीं कहेंगे, यू हैव टू बी विद द चाइल्ड. मिटाना नहीं है, यू आर ग्रोइंग ऑलरेडी
एज अ वन.
और उसको ध्यान देना, वो अभी छोटा है वो. एंड योर बिहेवियर इज व्हाट ही इज गोइंग टू कॉपी. मम्मी पापा यदि 25 साल के हस्बैंड वाइफ क्लब में जाके दारू पी के आते हैं, बच्चा आया के पास पल रहा है, आया पाल रही है, तुम नहीं पाल रहे हो उसको, तो कैसे कैसे आप सोचोगे कि तुम्हारा बच्चा अलग बने तुमसे? वो तो देख रहा है तुम क्या कर रहे हो. माई फादर यूज्ड टू से, parents, being a parent is the most challenging job in life. आप अपना गुस्सा बच्चे पे नहीं उतारिए. नेवर अलाउड अस टू हिट द चिल्ड्रन, नेवर. बच्चे ने ऐसा कुछ भी नहीं किया है कि जो उसको तुम इतना प्रताड़ित करो. ही वॉज वेरी फर्म ऑन सॉरी दैट. तो
थैंक यू फॉर वॉचिंग दिस पॉडकास्ट टिल द एंड. नंदिनी मैम के साथ ये पॉडकास्ट रिकॉर्ड करके बहुत ज़्यादा मज़ा आया. इट वॉज सो मच फन, सो मच एक्साइटिंग टू टॉक विथ हर एंड टू लिसन द स्टोरीज, टू लिसन द एक्सपीरियंसेस, द लेसन्स which she gave in this podcast. Our conversation went so deeper and so longer that it was not possible to comprise all of that in a single podcast. So we have broken it in 2 podcasts. This is just part 1 of the complete conversation we had with Mrs. Nandini Chiplunkar. For the second part, subscribe to our channel and stay tuned as we will be releasing such stories every Monday. And make sure you watch the part 2 of this podcast as well, as it will be contained of much more interesting things, much more fascinating stories. Stay tuned.